Heigl joins us this morning. The election coming up on August 26th. And Mayor, good morning to you. You're no stranger to elections, are you?
Not hardly, Jimmy Dale. I've been fooling with this thing since about 2006, going back a ways.
So how did you get started?
Bob Green, him and I went to school together and graduated together. And he got me, after I retired, he got me going to council meetings and going to board meetings that the council appointed and then some that the mayor appointed. And we did that in 2006 and 2007, and I said in 2008, so I'm going to run for my District 1. And I won it. And I was very fortunate. The council, I served as president of that council. They voted me as president back then, and I stayed that until Sam Wright passed away. And as president of the council, I was automatically sworn in as mayor to fill out his term. And in 2015, I told the council I was going to run for mayor. We were going to clean the city up, which I had a deep desire to do, and plus some other things that I felt that our departments needed as far as the tools to do their job. And so I ran for mayor, and I won it. And well, we had a runoff that thing, and then I ran again in 2020. I think we had 6 or 7 that ran that time for mayor, and I was able to run that, win that election without a runoff. And I've been in it for quite a while, and I really enjoy it. We got a beautiful city. We need to take care of it. We're going to do everything we possibly can to serve the people. That's what we're here for. We're servants of the people of the city of Sylacauga. And we're guided by federal and state laws. And but my main goal is to provide our department heads who are highly efficient, highly qualified in their positions, to do the jobs to provide the service for these people. I need to make sure that they get the tools to do it and do it the best way we possibly can.
Why and when did you decide to run for a third term?
Issues with the council and other things that I've already started. We brought a lot of industry and progress into the city. The Hutton project was one of the biggest ones when I first came in. We broke ground with them. That's where your TJ Maxx and Hobby Lobby's at, and of course the Publix and the other. And that was one of the largest developments we've had in the city since James Payton brought us a Walmart in Payton Park. And we brought that in there. We've had expansions. Plastic Cal, we're able to work with them, brought that industry into here, similar to Heritage Plastics, similar to it, and also IKO. We sat and worked with those people and bringing IKO, the shingle people here, and created many, many jobs. Our biggest problem and still is today is housing, because I admit with Dr. Eller, when she brings in the new teachers and all, let me know that almost half of the new teachers were not able to find a place in Sylacauga, and the same thing with Publix. When John Hall, his name, not the same John Hall with the Legion, this is a separate John Hall, the manager of Publix, that they had issues. And it is a problem, but we've got opportunities and areas that we can open up, but the economy controls a lot of that. There's not so much we can do, but the economy does have a lot to do, with building and growth.
Being a two-term mayor, 4-year two-term mayor, and now running for your third term, you faced a lot of adversity. How do you handle that?
Well, thanks to the good Lord, He's given me the strength to hold up to it. Yes, there's a lot of adversity. There's a lot of rhetoric that's not true. I wish people would take the time to find the truth before running, creating issues. You remember when we had Reef? Sam and I had to deal with that. That was a mess.
Yeah.
But people just did not understand the situation that we had to go through before we could get the government.
Took a long time, didn't it?
Yeah, to get the government down here to clean it up. Government is moving, but it's moving real slow. Sam always said that, of course. But issues that we have, you got to give us time. They talk about flooding. Yes, we've had flooding issues, and we're putting a good bit of money into it now. And now, thank God, we were able to communicate with the railroad. We got to working with them now, thanks to Michael Rice, EF&S Engineering, who I put all my faith into, because he has been a great engineer and handled a lot of these issues for us. But now we've got working with the railroad, because they have trussels out there on Oldfield Road that we have to deal with, and that's part of our drainage problems. And now we'll be able to work with them to get that out of the way. what happened in Arrowhead, all that was private property. Back then, it's developers didn't have to do what they're going to have to do today. You develop a place today, the first thing you're going to have to do is get a drainage engineer, and you're going to take care of that drainage first. Back then, they didn't have to do it. Now we have to deal with that. But we have to have permission to go on that property because of liability issues. And but we're working hard on it. We're going to spend the money on it, and not only that, the paving as well. They said, well, it's election year, you're starting to pave. I said, well, that's not true. We've been planning this paving for over 2 years. Our city engineer, our city street department superintendent, and Michael Rice, they have evaluated all the streets. They've been doing this for 2 years and building a list for it. And that's how we go divide which streets need it the worst. As you know, back in 2016 and 18, we had another pavement project, which got the main avenues. We were able to get that away. But meet with LDOT, meet with them at least once a year, sometimes twice, and also keep in touch and meeting with the District 5 county commissioner in the county. All three of them had already mentioned more than 2 or 3 years ago that about their plans for paving. Ironically, it all came together at the same time. It just happened this year, you know. It wasn't planned. I mean, the state came through here, the county started theirs, and we started ours, and we just all came together. And that's really good because it's going to make a great appearance in the future. But we got to stay ahead, but we got to stay proactive and keep these streets up and keep them clean and keep them neat.
You're 80 years old.
Yep.
But you don't act like you're 80 years old.
What's age?
You hear that from people who say,
the only numbers
well,
I worry about is the numbers when it comes to the dollars in the finances of the city. That's the numbers I look at, you know. So.
When you look at our city now, Mayor, where are we? We hear a lot of stuff, but where are we as a city?
Well, look at how we've grown over the years. I came up on Norton Avenue. I remember when that was a dirt street. Just the way things have changed over the years. We're growing. We can't grow but so much. We're blocked on the east with the forest, and we got the Oak Grove, and then we got Talladega and Center Point, and then we got the county road south of us there. Yes, we're limited. We could take, but we have an opportunity. Hopefully that we get a functional council that will listen to our people, listen to our building code, listen to some of our street departments and all, what we have planned, you know. And there's a great opportunity of what I want to do. We can have the Comer Complex. We can get to that. We don't have to go through the Mill Village. We own all the property all the way from Alabama Avenue all the way back there. We don't have to.
And that's not new, you know?
No, it's not. I mean, everybody says, I don't think we'll ever see that because it is county property. They do not have home rule, and that's a hard thing to get through. And when we just go around it. And also, I would like to see a road put between 511 and back over to 280, farther up. When you go into, we planned this years ago when Hutton came in here and laid it out. You go into what they call Marble City Square. You look straight through, that road goes all the way past the Hobby Lobby, and it ends right there. That was deliberately put there for future growth. We have a planning commission, we have a comprehensive plan, we have plans for the future, the growth of this city, but it takes time, and we got to have the support of a functional council to make these things happen.
The importance, Mayor, of a mayor-city council relationship working together for the betterment of the city of Sylacauga.
Absolutely. The council needs to act as one body, not individuals. It shouldn't be writing job description, or one councilman said he'd write job descriptions and go put these people here and there. That's unethical. That's not right. And also, I know I don't want to get into too much of this stuff here, but really we need to work together. It's important. Our city hall has grown. I know we used to have 4 people in the clerk's office, now we're down to about 8. The growth of work has increased that much. Building code has increased dramatically. We got to get more people into that. I want to take, we had an opportunity to get Tractor Supply here with the Food World building. That fell through.
What happened with that? Any idea?
Well, it seems that the council president was looking at putting the community center there.
Okay.
And so They wanted it for that, and apparently that fell through too.
So nothing happened there, right?
Nothing happened. And there were 7 other people that looked at it too as well. But anyway, I would like to take that Food World building, there's 8.1 acres it's sitting on, and move our city court over there, our magistrates, the judge. And we got enough room, the judge can build his own courtroom and have his own office, and all 5 magistrates, enough room for them to have.
Would you raise that building?
Well, structurally, the walls and base and everything's fine. It's the roof that's really going to take, and that's going to take pretty close to $750,000 to repair that roof. But it's, I've already talked to Judge Barr, and I've talked to Police Chief Rondell Muse, and asked them to look at the architect and see how we all could fit into that building. That's a plan I got for the future. If you ever look into the court's office, they are stacked from. They got a trail. That's all they've got. And the judge and the people that come in on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month for the courts, I mean, they're having to sit on the floors or laying on the floors. They've been there all day. They're tired. You can understand. But this needs to be moved over there. And they have got more than enough room for them to be inside in a comfortable area, you know, to wait till their turn to see the judge, or they could sit into the courtroom with the judge, you know. So, but there's things we got that could happen. I've gone to other cities and I've talked to them. Matter of fact, Saturday or Sunday night, I went down to Alex City to go to a movie, you know, and I talked to people about movies here in Sylacauga. And I've also talked to some of the people in other cities who have bowling alleys, trying to get a feeling, what would it take to get a bowling alley here? Location, 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 they tell me.
Yeah.
And we got a great opportunity, got the plans and the comprehensive plan, you know, opening up an area for such things. Our younger people, they need more entertainment. The elderly people and all, we've all got ours. We got all our pickleballs and tennis and basketballs and everything else. But we leave that mostly up to the Parks and Rec, and Steve Masters done a wonderful job with that. Golly, Pete, it's just miraculous. And what, you know, when I came in the office in 2016, I got with the city clerk and I said, we're going to activate the Lake Howard Authority. I don't know if you remember what it looked like before, but thank goodness to Building Code and Billy Bean, they re-renovated that caretaker's house out there and made it livable. They went out there and they redid all the boat slips. They redid the dock, the pier and everything. Got rid of all the portable toilets. They said, well, you can't put a permanent toilet. We did. We got 2 permanent bathrooms out there now for the public. And Silver Ward Trail is doing great out there. We've pickled what they call that, disc golf, got that out there. And Billy Bean has done a wonderful job with that. And of course, Steve Masters, what we do, $50,000 a year comes from the city, $50,000 a year comes from the utilities board for Lake Howard. And they have been able to buy the equipment they need to maintain that place. Even got a piece of equipment that goes out there and gets the grass up out of there, keeps the overgrowth down. But we've been very fortunate. I've also acquired a helicopter. For several years, I've been trying to get a helicopter because I guess fell in love with them overseas, you know. But anyway, it took me about 26 years and finally got one. We're going to be able to, working with Steve Masters and some others, we're going to be able to put a helicopter out there at the Veterans Memorial Park at Pinecrest. And that's going to be quite an addition, because we need to remember we lost 12 Sylacaugans in that war that never come home. And of course, the other 58,000 that were killed, and to represent all of our veterans. You
being a military veteran yourself, that's close to your heart, isn't it, Mayor?
It is. Like I said, I've been 20-something years, I've been trying to get this helicopter, and I finally got it. It's coming out of Fort Rucker. They finally found one that was sitting in a warehouse and notified me, asked me if I still want it. I said yes. And so I got tickled at Steve. He said, ask him to get a tank too. I said, okay, I'll ask him for a tank.
Is this the past 4 years that is just being completed? Was that a challenge for you, Mayor?
It was a very big challenge. It was hard to deal with. I don't believe in washing my dirty clothes in public. And a lot of stuff I didn't agree with. I hated the vetoed 3 things. They ignored it. I had some issues with personnel which I had to take care of. And I've been, I mean, they've even gone filed police reports on me, you know, and it was fabulous. There was nothing to it, you know. And ethics commission. They filed ethics complaints on
And
me.
your wife passed away during this same 4 years.
Well, she did.
Yeah.
She had been sick for a little over 2 and 3 years, you know, but her passing was accepted by her, and as a family, you know, we all worked together on that.
Yeah.
It was, but it helped me to stay busy, you know, and still have to deal with that. And but of course, I had open heart surgery, and it wasn't nothing wrong with the heart. It was just the blockage was in such a location that he said stent would not do any good. So and I said, well, Doc, I'm not crazy about having my chest popped open. So he goes like this, you know, and I said, yeah. But anyway, I came through that quite well, and I was able to get back to work and staying busy. And that's the main thing, keep busy and do what's best. But we got a beautiful city here. We need to keep it clean and need to keep it neat. We need to keep supporting our Marble Fest. That's very important.
What do people say to you that come in from the outside about our city, Mayor?
Beautiful. They love it. Yeah, I have never heard anybody. I mean, you can talk to some of the people, Robert Campbell and all that. I mean, he deals with these people and talks to them. How impressed they are with our city, and they didn't know anything about calcium carbonate. And I mean, that's our backbone now. We know we need it for our industries. Calcium carbonate is used in anywhere from 5 to 40% in products, mostly 40% in heavier plastics. Our Industrial Development Board, you got the state, county, and the city's Industrial Development Board, and they work on this, and they go after these companies, find out the history of them that uses our calcium carbonate, and they use up to 40%. Those are the ones we try to get down here where they don't have to spend all that shipping and everything about rails and all. And there are some companies that start to renovate themselves or rebuild it and all. They say, well, it's cheaper for us to move down to Sylacauga and start open up a factory than it is to renovate this place up here and pay all these high taxes and all. But that's the Industrial Development Board does a great job. Chamber of Commerce, God bless them. What they're doing for our businesses around here is outstanding. These are the people we need to support. Steve Masters with our Parks and Rest doing a wonderful job. Our Beautification Council. They work constantly, you know, to help to keep our city beautified.
You are running for your third full term as mayor of Sylacauga, and you're actually not running against anyone. You're running for the city of Sylacauga.
I am. I'm running for the city. I appreciate the people getting up. They got something to offer. I tell them, go for it. You got something to offer, go for it. I'm running for the city of Sylacauga. I've lived here just all of my life, except for the 4 years I spent overseas. But I want to see things grow. We got a future in this city. I want to see our kids to come back up here, go to college, come back here. What they're going to do with the Earth Project. That's going to keep a lot of people here. I remember several years ago, I can't exactly remember, Margaret came to me and got a grant for $25,000 for educational. She had, I think it was 6 students that dropped out of school. And so with this grant, they were able to get their GED test. They went in there, and all of them graduated high school. And 2 of them went to college. It was just the fact they just couldn't cope, apparently, within our school system, you know, with the crowd. You know, there's some people like that, you know, that just need special attention, need more concern, need to be taken under the wing and spend a little more time with them. Then their mind starts opening up and growing.
Mayor, are we in good shape financially in our city?
Yes, we are. We could be in a lot better shape. Well, as you saw in the last Daily Home, you know, they finally settled that Epperson thing. That was $300,000. I wish I had that money. I could have used it more productively than on lawyers and everything else. But
that had to be frustrating too for that to go on so long.
It was. I told them years ago with the old, we didn't need to go that route. I mean, it was over $12,000. $12,000, that's all back in 2015 and 16, and that'd been the end of it, you know. But there was controversy that they didn't want somebody telling them how to run their business and all this kind of stuff. But that's that's a different story. But like I said, we got a lot of hope. We need to watch our money. I've tried to watch it as much as possibly can. But that $8.2 million I've got for infrastructure, I'm going to spend every bit of it. We're going to fix our roads, and we're going to get our drainage under control. We're not going to, I can't guarantee you we won't have some flooding issue. Good Lord, it's going to do that.
Today would be a good test, wouldn't
it? Yeah, it would be. But we've already got Church Street. We got yours over here. We're snaking all these storm sewers. We're getting them out with cameras. checking them out to make sure they'll be replaced as needed. We've got the communication with the railroad now on our trestle issues down there on the other side of Arrowhead. And it's just a matter of everybody needs to work together for the common goal of our city.
Talk about our police and fire departments, Mayor.
Well, Rondell Muse, he's done a wonderful job. They have rules and regulations, and he expects his people to go by it. Nate Osgood, the fire chief, he's got a 5-year plan. I wish that'd be nice for all council department heads to think about. But he's got a 5-year plan. This year he's going to do this. He's already planning for next year and the year after that. Well, he's got a common goal down the road there, and we need to work with him. He's done a wonderful job. We've got a great fire department. They're highly responsive to it. Same thing with the police department. I mean, they've handled everything they can under their jurisdictions. We had a shooting the other day, but that came under the city because it happened in the street, and it was some kind of domestic thing. It was nothing that could have been seen that I know of. But anyway, it's still under investigation. I don't need to be mentioned talking about that. But we got a great police department. We got a great fire department. People are well protected. I mean, look at the street department. Look what they did when that tropical storm came through here. Man, they got this place cleaned up. And thank goodness when 2014, 2014, I think it was, when I told the council I was going to run for mayor and I'm going to get the street department equipment they need, to do the job right. And I got tired of them saying, well, you got to get secondhand this, secondhand that. I knew better than that because I'd already been on the council. I knew the city had money. But so we got a backhoe, a track hoe, a front end loader. We got 2 new grabbers for picking up trash on the streets. We just signed off yesterday, signed a check for a new dump truck, which we've been trying to get. Our fire engines are in great shape. We got one that's coming in shortly. They're finishing up the cosmetics on that. Our fire department and our street department's got the cars, and that made a big difference. Been pushing for that for years to allow these people to have the cars to take home.
So you keep your hand on the pulse of what's going on in our city that maybe a lot of people don't even realize.
Well, yeah, you have to. You just can't sit back and just let it go. They got issues we need to take care of. But I want our city to be proactive. I don't want to wait until this happens. I want to take care of it before it happens, when we see it coming. That's what we need to do. We need to be proactive. And we need to keep our personal feelings out of it. Whether you like this person or not, that's their position. If you got reason, give me reason to get them, fire them or whatever, bring it to me, but you can't. So keep your personal feelings to yourself.
If reelected, what would be the 1 or 2 things that you'd immediately want to address?
Well, really, we need our personnel. We do need some more help in personnel with the animal shelter. COVID has really hit us hard. I've got criticized for letting people work at home, but COVID created that issue there, and we have been productive with people working at home. Naturally, I'm going to provide my department heads with all the best equipment I could possibly can, whether it's software or hardcore trucks or whatever they need to do the job right, and do the best job we can for all of our citizens. And also, I do want to move the courts over there. I want HR to be independent. She does not need to be under me, or he doesn't need to be under me, and they certainly don't need to be under the city clerk's office. Years ago, that was fine because they were small staff down there, and they weren't only doing HR, they're doing other jobs. But today, we've grown to the point HR needs to be separate, needs to be a department head. That needs to happen. And like I said, I need to get the council to go along and give me the money to renovate the Food World building where we can put the police department and the court's office. Both of them work together anyway. And they need to move that and open up our areas in City Hall. We're too crowded in there. We're breaking out at the seams, especially the court's office.
Mayor, final couple of minutes. Right here in this camera, talk to the prospective voters about why they should re-elect you for a 3rd term as mayor of Sylacauga on August 26th.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the citizens of Sylacauga. I'm running for mayor to serve you. I've always wanted to serve the public. I serve my nation. I want to serve my city. I want to serve my state. And what I'm doing is for you and for my family as well. All my children here, my grandchildren, are gone now, but what we do is for the future of Sylacauga. We've got some issues that we need to clean up, and we're going to do it. But I need your support. We got citizens, senior citizens coming up next month. We're going to be addressing them, and they add so much. They are the pillars of our community, and we need work with them, and we need to listen to them and their inputs and what they advise for us. Support your local garden clubs, support your beautification council. The Chamber's doing a beautiful job. ARC is doing a beautiful job. Margaret Morton, what they're doing with the Earth Project and SAFE is doing a wonderful job. We got so much going on in Sylacauga. We just need to love each other and move forward and keep helping each other as we do.
Mayor Jim Heigl, candidate for re-election in the August 26 mayoral, actually municipal election. And we got the forum coming up on Thursday. I know you want to invite everybody to be a part of that.
Well, yes, I think the staff is going to have their questions answered, and they believe they're going to give us a few minutes to say what we want to say. And basically, it's very good. I do want people to get in. If they got something to offer, get into these. Run for office. Volunteer for our clubs. Volunteer for some of these boards that you can be an asset to.
And our churches are so important to our city.
Very important. We have one day of prayer, but every day should be a day of prayer. But you know, our churches, they're growing. If you notice, we were sort of worried, you know, a couple, 3, 4 years ago, but now our churches are growing. Our younger people are getting more involved in the churches, and that's very important. We're here to serve each other, you know. We're not just here for ourselves.
Finally, before we go this morning, I know the animal shelter is very important to you, and we've struggled in that area a little bit.
We have, and we need to work more with the county on this issue there, because our location is created a dumping station, and our director out there, she's going in for surgery next week, and we're going to have an issue there. We're going to need to get another temp force person out there to help us maintain these. These animals have to be fed and cleaned up 7 days a week. I mean, you just don't.
It's a huge job.
It is, and when you got 160-something animals out there, you know, and we got busting out the seams. The Feral Dogs of Avondale has helped us a good bit, you know, transferring some of these animals out. It's a balancing act, really. But we're maintaining too many animals that we shouldn't have. And we do this volunteer. We don't have to do it. But this is something that the city does. But we do need to work closer with the county to help us alleviate the population of these animals.
Is there enough monies to take care of this?
Well, there is donations and everything else. That's another thing. The council has split up what they can use the money for. They need to listen to the director and listen to what she's telling them, how she needs to use this money. And I mean, they keep records of it. It's not that they're not going to steal it or anything like that, but we can be we're accountable for all the money. I've got well, actually asked for an audit, you know, in-depth audit and everything else. I understand that somebody in the council asked the city attorney not to do it, but anyway, that's my decision. It's just their decision to pay for it. But we got to keep up with our money. We've got to be responsible. I've got to put a report on every penny that the city has to the council within the first 6 months of each year. And also, right now, Luann Anderson, she presents a update on our finances at every council meeting.
All right, Mayor, right before we go, I know you want to speak to people about making sure they get out and vote on August 26th.
Absolutely. There's one thing that we got, you know, is vote. That's a right that you have. You need to exercise it. Vote. You the people have the power. I don't have the power. You have the power. I'm going to do everything I possibly can for everybody in this city to make our city grow, make it healthy, and make it presentable. But you, the people of Sylacauga, belongs to you. You are the ones that control this city. We do what your bidding is under the laws.
Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl running for re-election in the municipal election on August 26th. Always a pleasure, Mayor. Thanks for coming by.
Well, thank you, Jimmy Dale. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. More coming up after this.